To talk about classroom management and how it affects your classroom and your kids and everyone that is in the class. Um, from the beginning of the school year, you need to make sure that you set rules and boundaries and that the kids know their expectations for the year. And if you stay on top of that, then the kids understand what they're supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to act. You need to stay consistent with that, though. If you're not consistent with your rules and you're letting one kid do one thing and then he comes and another kid tries to do it and he gets in trouble, you can't have that. You have to stay consistent with your rules and the expectations that the kids are held up to. You need to be patient with yourself and the kids and make sure you stay on top of the kids and letting them know what they're supposed to be doing. You want to break the class period into different sections. So first half of the class, everyone can be doing a craft, and then the next half of the class, everyone can do puzzles, and then the last half of the class, everyone does learning how to write their name. So that way, you're not just stuck on one thing all day, and the kids can stay interested and stay alive and into what you're doing instead of being uninterested and not wanting to do it. And also with that, you can get bad behavior because if a kid's bored or something, then they're going to want to go and do whatever they want. So when you discipline, make sure you just redirect the kids to something and do it quietly. A big part of classroom management is the transitions. Transitioning from one thing to another can be really hard. If you have dead time during transition, that's normally when kids misbehave and do what they're not supposed to do. There's many ways to transition. There's different songs you can use to transition. There's different chants and stories and just a whole bunch of things that help your kids stay interacted with your transition so they stay focused and they know what's next. You want to also have a routine in your classroom. If you don't have a routine, then your kids don't know what they're supposed to do. You should have your kids know that when they come in the morning, they put their bags away and they sit at the table or they sit at the floor and read a book. They should know what they're supposed to do so that everyone stays consistent and everyone has something to do and there's no bad behavior or anything like that. The shorter you make your transitions, the more time you have to do more activities in your classroom. So you want to stay on top of your transitions and make sure that you have you know what you're doing. You plan out your transitions and you plan out what you're going to do and what you're going to do next so your kids know. If a kid has bad behavior, you do not want to yell at them in front of everyone. You want to quietly bring them to the side and talk to them privately. If you have a big thing with one of your kids and because he's misbehaving, then it can show the other kids how to not behave. You just want to make sure you keep it all under control. But transitioning is the biggest thing about classroom management. If you don't have good transitions, then your classroom is not going to run smooth. You want it to be smooth, you want it to be controlled, you want the kids to know what they're transitioning into, and you want the kids to be interacted in the transition. So think of a song or find a book or find something for your kids to do as they're transitioning so there's no dead time for the kids to misbehave or not do what they're supposed to do. You want to stay on top of that. You want to make sure that they are aware that it's transitioning time and that they are supposed to go from reading a book to coloring at the table, and they're going to sing a song while they do it. So make sure you stay on top of that with your kids and make sure you have good classroom management skills. Thank you.